All right, so in this video, I'm going to discuss the best EU passport. EU is a big deal, right? A lot of people's planet, people from the West, Americans, Canadians, they absolutely want an EU passport. And when you're deciding which EU passport to get, you want to get the best of the best. And I'm going to discuss the top one, the number one EU passport or citizenship. The benefits. Now, when we say something is number one, there's some unique advantages which beat other citizenships. And that's why it's number one. So I'm going to discuss some unique advantages. The interesting thing here is I'm going to combine my assessment with ground level reality. Our advanced members, one of our advanced members, pointed out some very interesting benefits, which I'm going to cover. So first big advantage of the French passport is that, and I've covered this as part of my earlier videos, is the strategic positioning of those small little unique pockets which are really attached almost to several very important countries. So you have a citizenship from that country, you have this tidbit, small region near your country, you have tremendous possibility of back and forth, you have access to a brand new country in your backyard. So that is the big advantage of having the French nationality. Some of the great examples are Saint Martin, which is attached to Saint Martin, the Dutch territory. So it has an open border, so you can actually hop back and forth between two countries without crossing any immigration. That's just one. You also have the SPM next to Canada, right? Literally half an hour, 25 minutes by boat, or 1 hour by ferry, slightly more than an hour by ferry. It's fascinating to think that you can see this from Canada. You can literally hop over from the Dutch. So it has, and this is a couple of examples. You have several other strategically located territories that you would be a citizen of by gaining this one important EU French citizenship. I'm also going to discuss the various ways how you can get the French passport. But before that, let's look at what Patience is Alpha wants to add. He says that it's the number 3 in the world for diplomatic missions, ideal for consular services. You absolutely need great quality consular services when you're in deep shit, right? You saw Andrew Tate. Now, he talked crap about Western countries. Eventually, what he thought was his plan B or plan A, or I don't know what his idea was of going and sitting in Romania, but eventually it had to be Western attorneys, Western protections that could extract or at least try to get him out of the jail situation. So consular protection is often underlooked. Yes, you hate the Western options. Some of you hate the Western options for several reasons. Maybe it's taxation related or whatever, but when it comes to deep shit, you need Western consular protection. This has great consular representation. Priority access to AEFE schools that give amazing access to free universities for your children. It's an important one. High quality school at low cost. You can't go wrong with that. Working holiday visas for young folks wanting to work in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Argentina, Japan, and maybe other countries. Access to live in the Caribbean, Guadeloupe, Martinique. This is the point which I covered. Indian Ocean, there's a territory there with no blockers, which is very interesting. You're hopping continents, you're still a citizen of these territories, you're near other countries, you can go back and forth. Permutation, combination are infinite. If you're there, access to healthcare could be a small cost. So you have healthcare privileges. Just like in Canada, theoretically, you have free healthcare, but obviously you got to qualify, you got to be living there to avail those benefits. The free healthcare is not that rosy. There's triage, wait times. It's catastrophic in certain conditions. So good luck to you if you're trying to get the free healthcare. A lot of people would rather pay for it and get some priority service. But here in France, the healthcare, I feel, is slightly better than the free healthcare that you get in other places. So at a fraction of the cost, you're getting better quality healthcare in a nicer jurisdiction. No possibility of citizenship-based taxation be enacted. Well, I agree to that. I don't see France going in that direction. Canada, maybe in future. Argentina, maybe in future. But France, I doubt because of the whole demographics in France. And when I say demographics, this is one of the advantage. I feel it's not as hardcore Western as Germany. If you compare to other countries, there's a lot of Muslim population in France. Good or bad, I'm not going to discuss all of that, but it's a diversified population, so they strike the balance. I think France is getting more multicultural. More foreigners are now naturalizing in France than ever before. So it's in the balance. It's not like the US, it's different, right? These immigrants are not the same immigrants that are entering, let's say, a country like the US. So it's a very interesting part of the world. I feel it is changing. Yes, there might be some threats and some issues that are cropping up, but I still feel that these changes are for the better. It's making a better country moving forward as compared to some of the Western countries which aren't necessarily improving or headed in the right direction because of the diversity that they're attracting. When you attract diversity, you want to attract the right kind of diversity, not the right kind of folks. So that's the thing. Now, how do you get the French citizenship? How do you get this nationality? There are two ways of obtaining the French citizenship. One is if you're a skilled worker, there's a talent passport scheme. There's an expedite processing that they have introduced now. I made a recent video on this. If you've missed out on how you could qualify, who this is for, and how this can be done, you can hop over to the French talent passport video. It really covers the whole topic in detail. The second way of obtaining the French nationality is by doing business activities. Again, I made a very recent videos with 3 ways that you can look at. And if you have missed that video, you can check the link that pops above, and you can review all the ways of the 3 ways of obtaining the French nationality through business. The other way is, let's say you are married to a French national, your spouse is a French citizen, then you can drastically reduce your time frame to citizenship. If you're living in France, it's much faster. You're looking at 3 to 4 years. If you're not living in France, you can still qualify for the French citizenship, but the wait time then increases. You got to wait, and you got to cohabit in that relationship for 5 years, and then you qualify for the French citizenship. Now, if you aren't an advanced member, make sure to click the link in the description, be an advanced member, share your opinion, request video or interview topics, because we prioritize communications with our advanced members. And at any point in time you want to get started with any EU residency that leads to citizenship, Latin residency that leads to citizenship, or African citizenship, either by exception or through residency. We also have options in Balkans, so a lot of opportunities out there. You can always book a call with us. We can discuss the best fit scenario, permutation combinations, and get you started with the right residency or citizenship of your choice. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, make sure you're subscribed, and catch you in the next one.